Welcome to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We're also streaming to you live on yorbamedia.com and broadcasting to you from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Clear Channel Studios. All right, our first guest today is Paul, let me get it straight, Huet, CEO Klondex Mines. And our trusty producer, Elise, is working diligently to see if they can track this guy down and get him on the show. So in the meantime, I'm going to just chat a little bit with you and see if they fill in a little time with some new things that we're going to be doing here on the show. We're having some tremendous success. Let's see here. No, Elise? Yes, we did. Paul, welcome to the show. How are you?
Great. Thank you very much for having me.
All right. Great. My pleasure. I'm glad you're here. Now, Paul, your symbol on your stock, if I got that right, is KLNDF. Is that right?
That's correct for the U.S. market. In Canada, where we do most of our trading, actually the symbol is KDX.
Okay. KDX.
On the Toronto Stock Exchange.
Got it. And let's back up just a little bit. If you could give us, you're the CEO, give us a little background on you and then who is Klondex and what do you guys do?
Sure, great. Firstly, I've been in underground gold mining now for a little over 26 years. I come from a mining district in Timmins, Ontario, in Canada. Unfortunately, I was one of those Canadian boys that wasn't a very good hockey player, so at the age of 18 I got to go in an underground gold mine. I'm a third-generation miner. I worked my way up through the ranks in several different positions, starting off at the very lower-end position as an inexperienced miner in the 80s, actually. 10 years after mining, actually, drilling and blasting, I got a degree in mining at the Haileybury School of Mines in Ontario, a very highly recognized mining school, which led me to come to the United States, actually, in 2000. So in 2000, I came to the Midas Mine to work here for 7 years for Newmont. Interesting enough, it's a big focal point of our story today, where we actually recently bought the Midas Mine, and I'll get into it afterwards. But spent 7 years at the Midas Mine, in several capacities: mine superintendent, chief engineer, and the mine manager. I went on.
Wait. Let me pause for just a minute. Tell everybody where the Midas Mine is.
Sure. The Midas Mine is located in Nevada. It's north of Reno, about 160 miles north of Reno, Nevada. The local community is Winnemucca, actually. The workforce live in Winnemucca, Nevada, which is about an hour away. We bus the miners from the town to the mine site operation that has a fully operational mine and a mill, actually, that we just recently acquired.
Congratulations on the mill. They're not easy to come by.
It was a huge transformational acquisition for us. You know, you asked about Klondex, who we are. We're up until recently, we've been an exploration company. We've evolved late last year, early this year, to a fully production-focused company. We poured our first doré bars 2 weeks ago. We're actually here. I'm actually on site here today at the mine while doing the interview, where we're going to be pouring our second doré pour today, actually. So very big events for us as we transform the company. We've got a lot of experience with this team here. The Klondex team had a lot of experience at the Midas operation specifically. So acquiring this and marrying it to our Fire Creek asset was a very unique opportunity for us. So Klondex, when you ask who we are, we're no longer an exploration company. We're a producing gold company located in Nevada with a headquarter in Reno, Nevada, and a corporate office also located in Vancouver.
Are you predominantly gold, or is there a ratio gold-silver on the tailings?
You know, that's a very good question, actually. We have two underground operations. Our Fire Creek operation, which is, they're about 100 miles away. The Fire Creek operation has about almost a 1-to-1 silver to gold ratio. So for every ounce of gold, we produce 1 ounce of silver. Now, the Midas operation that we've recently acquired, historically, Midas has had a silver to gold ratio of 10 ounces of silver for every ounce of gold, we're seeing that increase now. We're seeing 20 and 30 silver to gold ratios now. The silver is concentration in the areas that we're mining in are higher than what's been mined at this property to date.
Okay. All right. That's excellent stuff. Talk to me about the jurisdiction, the gold, silver projects in the safe mining jurisdiction. But let's open that up a little bit.
So I've had an opportunity throughout my 26 years to work in Canada, the U.S., South Africa, Australia. I've consulted Mexico. Nevada is one of the greatest jurisdictions to mine in on the planet. I think when you rank it it's ranked globally. I think it's ranked today as the third best place in the world to mine. And that's really a function of, obviously, a safe government, of permitting. In Nevada, we've got very strict guidelines, but they're very crystal clear. There's no surprises with respect to permitting on a federal level or a state level. So we've got a very strong team that has a lot of experience in permitting, but the location of our assets in northern Nevada are in a very safe mining jurisdiction, and the communities that we work amongst are familiar with mining. We contribute a lot to the local economy. Mining is well received in the areas that we're in. We're not on someone's backyard. We're in the middle of the desert, so we're not disturbing any focal point or anything.
And you're a good wage payer out there. I mean, those jobs are hard to come by out in that part of the world.
We have some good training. We offer some good training. Underground mining is very labor intensive, and our miners, they average very well. Even inexperienced miners make in excess of $60,000 a year. An experienced miner makes between $80,000 to $120,000 a year. So our labor is well paid. We've got a strong workforce, a very efficient workforce, and our miners work on individual bonuses, so they're very well compensated for their efforts.
Let me drill down into your company a minute. Now, you've got some milestones that you completed in 2013 and first quarter of 14. So I imagine construction, permitting, and then let's talk a little bit about the money raised, debt and equity to go out and do your business.
Yeah, so 2013 was a pivotal year for us. We needed to raise a little over $130 million in both debt and equity. And we paid off some debt early on in the year. We paid off around approximately $15 million in debt. And that money was used early on in the year, was primarily all focused on Fire Creek, with the change at the very end of the fourth quarter and the first quarter of 2014, where $83 million was used specifically to acquire the Midas mine and mill. And just to give you a bit of an example of what Midas is, what we acquired for the $83 million was a fully permitted mill that has a capacity of 1,200 tons a day. We acquired 98 pieces of underground mining equipment. The value of those equipment appraised as anywhere from $26 to $32 million. We hired 110 people. We're on the books this year to produce around 40,000 gold equivalent ounces from the Midas mine, and very similar amount from our Fire Creek mine. So as a company, we're looking to produce 70 to 100,000 ounces in our first year of operation, which is a very, very impressive start for this little company.
Boy, I'll say. Hey, Paul, we need to take a little bit of a break right here, so let's do this. I wanted to cover some more milestones for 14 and also about your leadership team on the other segment. So if you don't mind, I'd like to go to a commercial break, and we'll bring you back and finish the conversation, okay?
No, that's great. Thank you very much.
My pleasure. All right, you've been listening to Paul Huet, CEO, Klondex Mines, KLONDEXMINES.com, symbol KLNDF in the United States. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Traders Network. I'm Michael Yorba, your host. Thanks for joining us. We're also streaming to you live on YorbaMedia.com and broadcasting to you from the Dallas KFXR 1190 AM Cleartown Studios. Okay, Paul Huet, CEO, Klondex, klondexmines.com on the show with me today. All right, Paul, welcome back to the segment. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you very much, Michael.
All right, my pleasure, too. You have got some milestones that we're looking forward to in 2014. Can you bring those out for us today?
Sure, absolutely. 2014, on February 11th, we actually closed the deal with Newmont to acquire the Midas mine and mill. At this point, it's really about making sure both of our underground operations together feed the one central mill in northern Nevada. So 2014 is going to be a lot different than any other year as we get our feet wet and get into production. Many of us have well over 20 years of experience in production, but it's about sustainable production now. So in order to sustain this type of production that we're anticipating, we need to grow both underground operations. So we're really focused and committed to spending capital dollars at both our underground operations, and that's really to extend the tunnels and the waste development drift to access to new levels of ore-bearing material, and also so that we can drill some underground exploration. We'll be doing some surface drilling and underground exploration to really grow the resources. So 2014, early on, was acquiring the asset. Now it's about filling both assets and converting the mineralized material to cash and growing both operations. So a very exciting year for us and our shareholders. And Michael, as you know, none of this would be possible without a talented team.
Yes.
Klondex is very blessed in the fact that we've got a very experienced team that are experts in narrow vein mining. We have expertise at all levels, from the permitting, from the miners, right from the board level. There's expertise in this style of mining. It's different than open pit mining. It's different than bulk mining. What we are really targeting is a very narrow vein system. Our tunnels are only 3 feet wide underground. These are very, very narrow, low tonnage, but some of the highest grades you'll find on the planet, actually. Our resource that we published for our Fire Creek operation is 44 gram in the measured and indicated, which I would say is probably one of the highest 3 in the world right now. So grade is on our side. We've got some of the highest head grades that you'll find in industry today.
How deep are the mines?
The Fire Creek mine is the newer of the two assets. It's just going into production. It is very shallow, actually. Vertically, it's approximately 600 feet deep. And there's approximately maybe a little less, probably about 4 miles of tunnels underground in our Fire Creek mine. Now, the Midas mine that we've just acquired, it's approximately 2,400 feet deep, straight down, and it's got well over 150 to 200 miles of tunnels underground that access the ore mineralization. And we're really looking inside that infrastructure to extend that to grow the operation, because there is a lot of opportunity. The best place you'll ever look to find gold, Michael, is where it's already been discovered.
Right.
And we're in that corridor. We're in the northern Nevada Rift. Both of our operations are located in the northern Nevada Rift, which is hosts epithermal style mineralizations, which is what we have. We've really got a tiger by the tail here. It really requires a lot of drilling. To answer today, what do we have? It's premature. There's a lot of drilling and converting dollars into drill bits and finding out how big these two sites really can become.
Definitely, without a doubt, there would be. What are your thoughts in regards to recoverable minerals that you think you're going to be able to get your hands on? I mean, lifespan is what I'm trying to drive at. What do you early estimates of anything that you can talk about on the air? Sure, actually. So at the Fire Creek mine today, we have a resource of approximately 700,000 ounces now. To convert 100% of that into reserve it's not common. It's very premature in Fire Creek's life. So what we really have is the 700,000 ounces that are currently defined today on record.
We announced them in approximately July of 2013. We already know today that number is going to grow. We've been drilling since the new resource is out. It will grow. To what number, I can't say today. I can say that there's absolutely no doubt that it has the potential to double in size. It's only on a very small fraction of our current land holding. 93% of our land package at Fire Creek is untested. It's virgin ground.
Wow.
So the current resource that we have defined at Fire Creek is only on 7% of our land package. And even within that small land package, Michael, we've got new discoveries. So Fire Creek, very exciting. Midas is an area where it's mined already 2 million ounces of gold, 27 million ounces of silver, and we believe with some further exploration specifically targeted at Midas, we'll be able to extend its life. It's a proven asset. It's done very well for itself. There are already new discoveries at Midas on the eastern side of the current infrastructure. It's up to us now, our engineering and geology team, to really drill down and grow a resource into that known area. So Midas has the potential to extend its life by 10 years as well.
That's what I was asked.
It's not an unrealistic number. And then when you're looking at recoveries, Michael, we've got some phenomenal recoveries with this mill. Everybody wants to know, how much of the gold in a ton of rock can you actually recover? Late last year, we had a milling agreement with Newmont treating our Fire Creek ore, blending it with the Midas ore. So we know what the results are from the mill, and we've exceeded 94 and achieved 95% recovery with our ore through that mill, which is extremely good. Those types of recoveries are very, very high. Blending both ores, the ore from the Fire Creek mine, blending it with the Midas mine, we're attaining and achieving recoveries north of 94 and hitting that 95, which I'll tell you is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is. Those are astronomical numbers for most people to comprehend if you know anything about the business. Let me ask you a little bit about the mill. On location, is it somewhere you have to truck the tailings, or?
Actually, that's a very good question. So at Midas, we are generating right now approximately 400 to 500 tons a day, and that ore comes out from the mine and directly to the mill. The mill is less than half a mile away.
Oh, good.
Now, our Fire Creek operation, on the other hand, is about a little over 100 miles away from the mill. So we pay a trucking company to haul our ore from Fire Creek to Midas, and that cost us approximately $32 a ton to ship 1 ton of rock from the mine to the mill, 100 miles away.
Not too bad. No,
it's actually not bad at all. Actually, it's actually a good rate, and the synergies that we have here because of the recoveries. For us to build a mill like this, Michael, today it would take us approximately 5 years to permit, and it would cost us about $100 million to reconstruct a mill of this quality and this caliber. A 1,200-ton-a-day mill, fully permitted with a tails dam in Nevada, 5 years to permit, and approximately $100 million on a price tag. So our shareholders and us are very pleased with the acquisition because this was not only a marriage of two sites and the formation of a new company, a growing of a company. It was a huge opportunity for our shareholders at a right time for us for the price.
Yeah, I would definitely love a tour if I could, but before you extend the invitation, ball mill, rod mill, shaking tables are all included?
Sure, yeah. So what we have up front is we've got a two-stage a crushing facility. We've got a jaw crusher, a cone crusher, followed by ball mills.
Right.
And we do have a rod mill as well. And then we have up front, we have a gravity circuit. Fire Creek, a lot of the ore produces a gravity concentrate, so there's a Nelson. So we produce a concentrate from that. And then we have several leach tanks from a Merrill Crowe system that's really designed to capture a lot of the silver ounces so we can take advantage of all those silver that we do produce. So we generate two concentrates we melt those concentrates into one doré bar.
Mm-hmm.
So the mill has two concentrates. Every week we pour doré bars from our both concentrates, and then we ship that off to Johnson Matthey for further refining.
Wow. Wow. It sounds like you've got the earmarks of a complete home run. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, it's very exciting, Michael. This has been a very exciting ride for us, and I'm looking forward to what we're going to do as a company this year and the growth opportunities. There are other opportunities in Nevada. We've now proven that we can raise money, and we're going to start demonstrating that we are operators. That's our biggest strength. So there will be other synergies that will present themselves and opportunities that will be presented in front of us in the near future. There's no doubt about that.
And you'll have to come back and tell us all about them. Before you go, though, please contact information so our audience can find out more about the topics you brought to the table today.
Sure. So myself personally, we have a website at klondexmines.com. We have an IR department. Allison Tullis is responsible for the IR department. And I'll go out on a limb here and even give out my own personal cell phone. If there are questions, I'd gladly answer them. We're a company that really is involved with our shareholders. Or questions, I'll gladly answer them whenever I can. My number is 775-299-8334. So if you can't get answers from our website, which we're updating, by the way, since the acquisition, myself and Allison will gladly answer any questions. And we do have site visits, so if people are wanting to come and see what we're building, we've never turned anybody away.
No. Love to. Got the boots and the hard hat ready to go.
All right, Michael, we'd love to have you.
Thank you, Paul. Please come back and give us the updates later on down the road.
Okay, you have a great day.
You too. All right, Paul Huet, CEO, Klondex, klondexmines.com. Symbol on this company, KLNDF. And special thanks to Monk Media and 1-800-publicrelations.com for all their PR and media support. All right, now don't go away. We've got Mike Ellis, CEO, Forge Rock, coming up. And these guys have got it going on when it comes to new high-tech technology. We'll be right back on the other side of this break.